Welcome to this episode of The Good, The Bad and the Odd One Out with your host Mark. This is completing my comments on Star Trek The Animated Series. Last time I did this, it was episodes 1. I've completely miscounted. For some reason, I know there's 22 episodes. I was thinking 12 is half of 22. I don't know why. So I've actually got 10 episodes in this set to finish off. So let's just get on with it. Episode 13 was called The Ambergris Element. It was kind of a fun episode. In this one, Kirk and Spock turn aquatic, and they have to reconcile a race an underwater race who hate land dwellers, to their own cultural past, while trying to figure out how to turn themselves back into air breathers, because at the minute they have to live underwater in a tank. It's a pretty strong episode, this. I think it embodies the best of the Star Trek ideas, reconciling old and cultural differences and dissipating sort of hate and fear and potentiality for war with knowledge. I kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. There was some kind of cool shots in this as well. A good one all round. Number 14 was one called The Slaver Weapon. Interesting one, this is. A good episode as well. It introduces an aggressive cat race called the Xinti. Xinti, it's hard to say. Now, these are part of the Larry Niven, who's a sci-fi writer, sort of wheelhouse of ideas. They're apparently quite significant in his books, so I haven't read any of his books, so I don't know this. But there's kind of... So in a way, this is kind of a crossover episode with another universe. They're an aggressive, as I say, cat-like race. And this involves... hunting down an ancient artifact. It's a bit almost like Marvel Universe, there's these ancient things in the universe with power. This is the same kind of thing. These are the boxes who no one knows what's in, but there's a potential to be unbelievable weaponry inside them, so they're kind of keen to get in it. Now, this episode only features Spock, Uhura and Sulu. I actually think this should have been Spock, Uhura and Kirk, but Shatner wasn't available, so they transferred to Sulu. And the reason I think that is, in quite a few of the shots, Sulu looks just like Kirk. He's speaking with Sulu's voice, but he looks just like Kirk. And I think they were part way through animation before they switched. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know. Didn't find any notes on that, but it kind of looks like it to me. So anyway, it's those three trying to out-reason the Xinti over this potentially ancient weapon. In fact, there is a weapon in it, yeah. Really good one. It has a big pink flying saucer in it, and the Xinti wear pinky kind of stuff. And apparently, it was one of the issues was someone involved with the production process high up was colourblind and didn't realise it was pink, and I had to send an apology, or did, had the good grace to send an apology to Larry Niven over the episode. It doesn't bother me at all, actually, but I think times change. Pink's not a weird sort of colour to modernise, I don't think, really. It was a decent enough episode. Number 15 was The Eye of the Beholder. This one was a bit mediocre. There's all sorts of stuff happening, but there's no real engagement for the viewer to me. It's the old Star Trek trope of an alien race are toying with the crew. In this race looked like a cross between giant slugs and the pink elephants from Dumbo. They remind me of that Futurama episode where they're producing Slurm as well. Basically, they're taking the crew as zoo exhibits, and basically the crew persuade them that they're too intelligent to be treated as mere animals, and that's how it resolves. It's not much to it, really. Number 16 of season 1 is called The Jihad, which is a provocative name these days, I guess. It was decent enough, though. It was a mission episode. Here we get Spock and Kirk having to work with a set of disparate aliens towards a common goal. And I believe the writer of this was from a Mission Impossible background. It does feel Mission Impossible-ish. There's a lot of action to it. They have to coordinate, they have to do stuff that, you know, working together, but there's also stuff in this that there's no way they could have done a live show, so it really suits the animated format quite well. And there's also this Kirk's flirting with this woman who sounds like a female Edward G. Robinson. She goes, "You're going to do it like this, see?" It's kind of fun, but he won't engage. You know, this isn't like Kirk. He doesn't really engage in the flirting. Well, she's heavily flirting with him. It's kind of fun. I liked it. Liked the Jihadi. I thought it was quite good. Right, that was the end of season 1. So there were 16 episodes in season 2. Season 1. In season 2, there's only 6. I don't know if it was cut short. I'm not sure. I didn't really look into the background, but there was only 6 in this season. The first one is the Pirates of Orion. Oh, and this is often, I think on Netflix, is presented as one big season, by the way. So this might be 17 in your wheelhouse. Yeah, so this is season 2, episode 1, The Pirates of Orion. It's a decent episode. It's a race in time to save Spock, and there's a new race to the Star Trek universe called the Orion. I think they're in it later as well. It's a nice balance between tension and action, but otherwise it's not really standout. I do like the voice work given by DeForest Kelley. It's pretty solid in this episode, it has to be said. Episode 2 is quite a fun one. It's called BEM, or BEM, which is like a sci-fi acronym meaning bug-eyed monster. It means little green. It's another way of saying little green men. And this is the first episode there's a mention of Kirk's middle name, Tiberius. It's in the Star Trek universe. First time it was mentioned is Tiberius. I think in the pilot in the pilot of the original series, you see his tombstone as James R. Kirk, but it's actually Tiberius. Other than that, this is an episode where Kirk has to deal with possibly the most aggravating character I can remember in Star Trek. If you discount like kind of Troy in The Next Gen, the level of aggravation this guy is presenting, Ben is presenting in this, is massive. He's just so annoying. It's fun though. Unfortunately, they couldn't resist throwing in what is at this point an old Star Trek crock of a higher being or god that's looking after the natives of a planet and trying to sort of protect them from the crew. It didn't need that, but anyway, it's in there, and fair enough, it's in there. It's a really worn out premise at this point, I think, and this is before Next Gen and all that stuff. This trope and you know, the alien using the humans for its own entertainment kind of purposes are two of the most old, recycled sort of storylines in Star Trek, in my opinion. It was a decent enough episode. I found it quite entertaining, I have to say. Number 3 of season 2 was The Practical Joker. I like this episode. Basically, the Enterprise goes awry and starts creating practical jokes. And actually, we see a holodeck in this one. I don't think it's called that, but it is basically a holodeck. And the idea of the holodeck is used to good effect in this one because the people were trapped in it, and because the joke's playing these tricks. And it's it's a fun idea to have the Enterprise being infected with this malady and causing havoc. I think there's a similar plot line in one of the TNG episodes, but rather than it being creating jokes, it starts going wrong. It gets worse and worse and worse. This one kind of is more than fun. There's even a shot where Kirk puts on a shirt and it says on the back, "Kirk is a jerk." And also the computer forces Kirk to say please after some of the commands. There's also a very illogical solution that kind of made me laugh. And I like the trick they played on, I think it's been a while since I watched it, and I think it was the Romulans chasing them, and they basically turned the tables on the Romulans. The next episode 4 of season 2 is Albatross. In this one, it's kind of a dark one. McCoy's charged with mass genocide because he was treating people at this place, and after he left, they all died. This whole planet, mostly. So it's kind of dark, actually. It's a decent story, a really good voice acting from DeForest Kelley as well. And while I haven't mentioned it much elsewhere, James Doohan produces spectacular voice work in this episode and in many of the other episodes. He basically seems to do the voices for everyone else, and you cannot tell. It's really good work. James Doohan's bit, props. It's very, really impressive work he's putting into these episodes. Okay, number 5 of season 2 is How Sharp Are Than a Serpent's Tooth. Another repeat idea, this one, Von Daniken-esque kind of ideas of, ancient beings visiting Earth and being gods, visiting Earth in the past being gods. We saw it in Who Mourns for Adonai in the original series, and this one, it's kind of a Native American, South American god who visited Earth in the distant past, which it kind of looks dragonish, like a Mayan kind of thing. And the plot does focus on a crewman we haven't seen before, who's a Native American called Walking Bear, Dawson Walking Bear. It starts strong, really, with the god Kukulkan, thinking, everyone except one person's forgotten him, and because of this, he wants to give them a chance to redeem themselves, because one person still remembers him. The story then runs up, and it kind of limps towards the end, really. It kind of loses its way and loses drama and stuff like that, and drive. But actually, the resolution's kind of cool. I won't spoil it, but it's kind of a decent final scene, I'd say. Right, the very last one of the animated series is the counterclock incident. Yeah. It's a nice idea, going into an anti-universe, but it was kind of taken to goofy extremes. I can understand the clocks running backwards. I can just about accept the aging backwards, but the ship flying backwards when it has to get around just seems stupid. I know that's a ridiculous thing to say after all those other things, but the ship flying backwards was just a little step too far, really, for me. I liked it. Like some of the elements of this, it's not a very good episode at all, actually. Went out with a bit of a whimper, this one. Okay, so that's all the episodes of the animated series. The real highlights for me, I think, were season 1, episode 2, Yesteryear, which involves Spock's sort of past backstory. That's a good episode, and it ties in quite nicely to the Star Trek 2009 movie. I liked episode 5 of season 1, More Tribbles, More Troubles. Tribbles are always fun. Episode 8 of season 1, which is The Magics of Megas 2. Alright, it was visiting the whole thing of ancient beings coming to Earth, blah blah blah, but this involved the devil. It was I like this one, very enjoyable. Episode 10 of season 1 was good, Mudd's Passion. Where he, not only is it fun because Harry Mudd's in it, it's fun because we actually get a man hug between Kirk and Spock, which is very funny to see. Quite shocking, actually. Out of the ones I've just discussed today, I also really like the ambergris element, where they're going underwater, the Jihad, the mission film, and the BEM, the aggravating alien. Those are 3 solid episodes. So I'd say out of these 26 episodes, there's 7 really solid ones. None of them are that bad. They're all worth a watch, I'd say. I'd say sit down and watch them beginning to end. I think they're all on Netflix. I have a box set as well. But they are all on Netflix. I didn't review what was in the box set extras, actually. I might have a look at that at some point. But I think I'm about done with the animated series, actually. That's fine. I probably will be going on to Star Trek Next Generation, but I couldn't decide quite what to do. I was thinking about cherry picking. But in the end, I've decided I am going to watch them all, but I'm going to take my time about it. So the next Star Trek episode you'll get is going to be Next Gen, but it might be some time until you get it, unless I might possibly do a one-off about Encounter at Farpoint, because I think that might be worth talking about all on its own, because I think it encapsulates both the bad and the good about Star Trek Next Gen quite nicely as a pilot. So I might just do a one-off about that too, but we'll see. Okay then, bye from me.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise, its 5-year mission to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.